Okay. Y'all ready? Hope you're reading. I see you ain't got no views. You got no likes, ain't got no dislikes. Oh, maybe I ain't interesting. Okay. There's a record here. Somebody might catch it. Few to be saved might catch it. Okay. 30 seconds. Here we go. Now, we left 45 still having a lot of information, but no place to put it till Paul started opening his mouth. So in the book of Galatians, we see some 3 years and then some 14 years. And 14 years end up at Antioch. So we got some more Passovers. We got 3 from 1293 and a half. From 490 is over. 1245, we counting the spaces. We filling in the spaces, darkening them in, accounting for them. Seeing how old this one is, how old that one is, how long they was around, what they was doing. So, Paul gave us 3 years there from stoning Stephen. Then he gave us 14 more years at Antioch. We know that we can add that into the 1290, 3 and a half. 17 years. Still Jerusalem standing. Paul, hopefully, or even if he just wrote that at the 17-year mark, it appears that he wrote that from hindsight. It wasn't a present tense letter. And when we read in the book of Peter, Peter speaks of Paul. Now I spoke of some relationships. John Mark is Mark, the man that wrote the book of Mark. That's Peter's son. So after you get your loops together, did them books to Seek Out the Time and the Red Horse. You read Peter, you read Mark. Then put your other books back in on your next loop. What you're doing is you're adding more to the vision. Some men don't speak about Jesus being given a reed in his hand and then being smote upside his head with it. Remember I told you about picking that thing up wrong? They took it out of his hand and smote him in the head with it. So then we got Timothy. The Jewish people in Antioch was cool because that was an integrated church. That was a church who professed the civil war, more or less, inside Israel. Because if you guys remember looking back at the council, you see how we got to jump around a little bit here. When the council, when Paul was there, Paul was speaking, so was Barnabas, because they was the issue. What they had done. What they had done had provoked controversy. And Paul was perceived through the scriptures and through testimony and through witness of God of his labors and his works. So it was a place at the table made for Paul, made for Barnabas. So that when this issue came about the circumcision and the Gentiles and the keeping of the law of Moses, these boys got in it. But you got to remember, they came out the church in Antioch. This is where Peter met Paul after 14 years. So we're going to pick up this 14 years plus these 3 years, add them to our movement. We made some positive movement here, moving forward out of these 45 years. Okay, that was enough time for you. A little bit of information. You know who Lucius is. You know who Theophilus is. You know who Lucifer is. You know who the second Adam is. You know who Michael is. You know who Gabriel is and where he's at. You know who talked to John and where he come from. I haven't told you which angels were angelic angels that spoke during certain parts of the book of Revelation. We're going to get to that. I like that. I haven't showed you the power of the angel that was destroying Jerusalem. He stood above the earth with his sword drawn, and what's this dude's name? He was a Jebusite. I think his name was Orion. The Jebusite. He seen the angel. David seen the angel. And David was coming to make sacrifice to the angel. And the angel must have been the Lord, and he would have stopped him from doing that. And David built the house of God there. Angel came during the time of Hezekiah and Isaiah and slew 180,000 Syrian soldiers in their sleep. Quick! While they was sleeping. Other boys woke up and ran. Some lepers. Some lepers got the... Anyway, okay. That's your time.